Welcome to Izzy platform, which is the helpline platform that you would use for the online chat and the support line. So you will be getting a login code and a link to the Izzy page here. This is what it looks like when you log in. Your username is always going to be your email, and then you'll be able to set your password. Then when you log in, you'll be taken to either right away to the helpline page, or you'll see these three options: clinical, education, and helpline. You will always be in helpline. If you do accidentally click on one of these other pages, you won't have access, so you can just go back and click on helpline. Okay, so this is what's called the Izzy dashboard, and you'll see this when you first log in. Now, we're going to start with an overview of Izzy, and then I'll go through each section in more detail. So first is this conversations tab here. You won't see anything other than your own conversations in active, so you can ignore this. I see more just because I am the supervisor. So if a chat or a call is coming in, it will display here in the incoming section. When I do an example of the phone as well as the chat, you will see that in more detail. Now, if you're on the phone shift, you don't need to be watching here for incoming because your phone will ring. Whereas if you're on the chat shift, you'll have your text notifications on and you'll get a text message if a chat comes in, or a notification from the app on your phone or online through your desktop or computer that a chat is coming in, and you'll have to click on it to press accept. Then it will move down to active. On your phone, when you answer the phone call and press 1 to accept, then it will move down to active. This will disappear from active when you finish the conversation, complete your ticket, and then close the conversation, which again, I will show you in another video. SMS and chat, this is where when you are on the online chat and you accept a conversation, this is where you will be typing to the survivor or to the chatter. Once the conversation is closed, this again will be empty. Resource guide is where you can find resources within our region or other regions to best support survivors. Again, you can use Google. You can also use the volunteer manual, but resource guide is another place that you can find resources and look them up right in the Izzy dashboard. We do need to work on updating these more often from our end, and we are working on that. So if there is anything that's out of date or you know of that maybe would be helpful to add, please just reach out and let me know. Now, the next section of Izzy is up here, which is your settings. So here you can always find the supervisor number in the top right. This is the volunteer coordinator's work cell phone number. So again, you can add this into your phone and label it as the volunteer coordinator or the current volunteer coordinator's name. So right now it's Anna. Or you can always just come here to refer to it. So this is where you will find your supervisor's number. Again, it's in the volunteer manual. Again, you will be encouraged to add that into your phone. However, you can always find it here. Needs help is a section that you can go to if you're needing support with the Izzy database itself in terms of like tech issues. If you click on help desk, it will take you to this page, which is called Izzy Help Desk. So maybe there's an issue when you went to answer the phone, it didn't give you the automated message, or maybe there's an issue with the ticket not displaying properly. It's your job to help report those IT challenges so that it can be resolved. Again, you can email me and let me know, but you should also mention that you have reported or made a ticket in Izzy Help Desk. So to do that, one, you can look at help documentation first. Maybe there's like a guide or a link that already explains, oh, here's like a solution to my problem. Here's what I can do. Maybe I have an issue with the calls. How do I conduct a three-way call? How do I access interpreter services? Maybe there's a tech question you have about the app and how to work the app. How do I download the Izzy app? So you can come here and you can look at all of these, the walkthroughs here and these video guides in the help desk. You can also search for keywords. So maybe I'm looking up ticket and I need help. Okay, how do I explore the ticket area? And then there's a video guide. So this is important to go through first before you reach out to the volunteer coordinator and before you complete a ticket. Once you have exhausted all your resources here, that's when you will go back to this site here so that you can report a bug. You will complete this form, put your email, a summary of the issue. It will be helpline, what priority it is. Let's say you're not getting connected to a caller, even though you keep pressing 1. That's probably the highest priority versus a resource isn't properly copying, or there's maybe an issue displaying your ticket. Maybe that's medium or high, and you'll include that. If there's any images, you'll include. Fill out the rest of this form and then press send. And then Izzy Tech will get back to you as soon as possible. Again, you can email me too, just so I'm in the loop, but I should not be your first point of contact unless there is an absolute emergency. Like, let's say you're locked out of your account, you can't even get here, or there's some sort of issue and you're on a shift and it needs like immediate attention, and it's like after hours. That would be an important thing to text me about. Here in the top right corner, you will see your initial. This is where you can find your resources. So the SASC Volunteer Manual, although you have a copy, this is where you can always find the most up-to-date version. It's linked in Izzy. So if you click on Volunteer Manual, it will open a new tab and it will go right to the Volunteer Manual here, where you'll be able to navigate that. And then the other manuals here that are helpful, which again, you will receive in an email, but finding it here is the onboarding and information guide. So this one is all about Izzy, the process, what it looks like, for example, calling. So the automated message you'll receive and what that sounds like. You can click here to hear the full message of what survivors hear. How to accept that call. So when that call reaches out, or when that call like rings your phone and you accept it, you won't automatically be talking with the survivor or the caller. First, it will say, you received a call from the Sexual Assault Support Center's 24-hour support line. If you're ready to be connected with the caller or to accept the call, press 1. If you need more time, press 3. Or if you need to decline the call, press 2. You should only be pressing 1 to accept. The times that it's appropriate that you need more time is if you get a notification first in the automated message that you are talking to a flagged caller, and we'll go in more detail. It's helpful to press 3 so that you can review the flag to better support that person. It's also helpful if maybe like you're on the overnight shift and you've just woken up and you need more time to splash some water on your face, then you can use that option. But if you are on like your shift, you're not in the washroom or something, you should always just be pressing 1 to accept, because the assumption is that you're already ready. Our goal for survivors is to have a wait time under 2 minutes, which means right away after they hear that message and it rings to you, you should be answering it. That automatically is within 2 minutes. Anything longer, obviously we know that it can cause a detriment to survivors. So if you're pressing 3, it's going to put the caller on hold and it's going to hang up from your end. So your phone will hang up the call, they're still on hold, and then in 5 minutes, it's going to give you a call back. And now the survivor has been waiting for over 5 minutes. So you should always then press accept 1 and use your best judgment for when you need to press 3. You should never press 3 more than once, because we will have 2 people on the shift or a backup list. If you're pressing 3 more than once, you're making the survivor wait over 10 minutes and no chance for another person to get that call. So information here can go through like the Izzy website and the app and how that looks, what it looks like to prepare your phone, what the Izzy number is, how to turn on emergency bypass as a contact, making sure your ringer is turned on. So you should always be reading through this, as it will have information on really what I'm going through now, which is how to navigate the dashboard, how to go through the tickets. This is a great written reminder of this video and in full detail, like what a flag looks like, the reasons that you can request a flag. So it's important to go through that, how to schedule. So any questions you have about, how does Izzy actually work? What do I do in Izzy? Come here to this video guide. Now back to the dashboard here. Those are kind of like the 2 main sections, which is the volunteer manual and the onboarding guide. The other one is settings. Now settings, if you click on that, it will take you to what we call the back end of your account here. So here in the back end, this is where, or in your settings is what we call the back end. This is where you'll find your details, and you're responsible for updating these if something changes. Let's say your email address changes or your cell phone number changes. It is your role to go into your Izzy account, change this, and email me as well. You can email me first if you need support, but you should always be trying to update this yourself. If, let's say, you forget to tell me about a new cell phone number and missed calls, or as a result you don't update it yourself, it just means that it could result in some sort of disciplinary action or just verbal reminder or warning, because it's important that we have a way for the calls to actually get through to you. But let's say something changes, you can just go in here and type your new email address, go to the end and press submit and save. You can add your birth date, any allergies if you want, but it's also like not really needed for the system because I have it in your other form. This is also where you can change your password too. If something wants to be changed, you just type in your new password, confirm it, and then save. You can also test the app notification, so the Izzy app, so you can click that and it should test that it's working. And then any of this you won't really be able to change. I will, but I can support you with that. So that is what your backend will look like. Really helpful for resetting passwords, updating your information here, especially phone number, phone number and email address. Here's where you can also set your shift reminders. So you're automatically going to be given an email reminder, which is 24 hours prior to your shift, you will get an email. If you want to change that to text, both, that's up to you. If you're choosing no reminder, you just need to make sure you have some way to remember where your shift times are. So I do encourage an email or a text, so it's up to you. As well, you can get notified if you're on the online chat. If a new conversation comes in and you're scheduled, it will text you. This will automatically be on, and I recommend keeping that on. However, once again, it's up to you. If you want to turn it off, it just means that then you will have to keep the app open, logged in, and paying attention to it throughout the duration of your shift. And all changes can be saved and submitted here. And then the last couple sections to overview is the conversation history. This is where you'll see information about your calls and then your chat conversations, like how many you've taken. I can see everyone's, you'll just see your own. The schedule here is something I'll go through in more detail, but that's another tab you can click on to see the schedule for your term and where you are on it. And that is essentially the entire dashboard and how it is structured and what it looks like. And then we'll go through each section in more detail. But here you can see an example of someone calling right now our support line saying this minute. So it's going to be ringing through to that person who's on shift.